Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to
Welcome.
Murder with My Sister.
And I'm Lisa.
I'm Marie.
And we are here to bring you another big bad doozy.
Another big bad doozy. We're
But
gonna, yeah, go ahead.
so I don't know about you, but I feel
Okay.
like a disclaimer should come with this one that we are speculating the fuck out of this, right? Like
I
this
always
isn't
put theorized in my title
I think
because
I think
it's
even
entirely in
theorized.
theory. It's all
Is
in
even
theory.
in theory though, or is it like in total
Well,
like
theories aren't proven. They're just theories.
I feel like we're not even there yet. We took a we're taking a big swing at a speculation of a story. But
It would appear, yes.
it's getting some media attention, so it needs to be I think
I think it warrants at least talking about it because everyone's so fixated on it.
it warrants talking about. You know what I love to say? It deserves a conversation.
There it is.
That's what I say at work. I'm like, this deserves a bigger conversation. That's my thing. Like, you know how when people are like, put a pin in that, let's circle back, let's take this offline. My thing is, this deserves a bigger conversation. Mm-hmm.
Well, all right then.
Mm-hmm.
So, pardon my
What are you doing?
pardon my shifting.
Oh,
I hope it doesn't come across on the audio, but I hurt
it
my
can't.
back
Oh
really,
no,
really
what'd you
bad.
do? Oh
I don't even
no.
know. I have no idea. All I know is Wednesday morning it was awful. And whatever I did, it was lower back. It was running down the back of my leg. It kind of felt like a massive Charlie horse.
Mm.
I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand upright. Like, it was bad. Like, I just stopped trying to get dressed and started crying because I'm
Was it
like, I
like my
can't.
cyst? Remember that one time I had that cyst on the back of my knee
Probably
that
so.
I couldn't feel it. I couldn't see it. I thought it was a blood clot. Like I was
Yeah.
fatigued. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't walk. And then I went to the doctor and she's like, and they took what did they do? Not an
Maybe an ultrasound?
ultrasound. And they said, you have what did they call it? A
I think it
cyst.
was a Baker cyst.
Yeah. In the back of your knee.
Yeah.
And and she's like, it'll either burst on its own or it
Mm-hmm.
won't. And then we'll see. And the next day, no fucking joke, after like 3 days of horrible pain, it
Mm-hmm.
was gone.
So I went to the chiropractor that same day.
Mm-hmm.
He did some things and he was like, it's either something called piriformis syndrome
Oh.
and it's a little muscle that goes across your butt.
No.
And sometimes when they get real tight and inflamed, they press on the adjacent nerves. And they were worried it could be like a lumbar disc.
Oh.
Yeah. So whatever he did with his gun and all his stuff and
no.
taping my back, like all kinds of weird stuff, it helped. It was better the next day. I could actually stand up straight.
Mm-hmm.
But then the next day,
Uh-oh.
my entire back of my leg from just mid thigh to the bottom of my foot, including my toes, is completely numb.
Nope. No.
It feels like
Nope.
how your face feels when you get Novocaine.
I
It
don't
is
do
numb. Numb.
Wait, so do you remember I
Can't feel
told
it.
you that I have that, what is it? Like dead zone is what I think I called it.
Yeah.
From the top of my knee and it's like a perfect square on the top of my leg. And
Uh-huh.
every time I gain a certain amount of weight, and I get over a certain weight from standing in the hair salon,
Uh-huh.
it would just go completely fucking numb. Like I could pound
Interesting.
on it, it wouldn't,
Nothing. Yeah.
nothing.
It's
But
bizarre.
the whole leg is scary. Like that would
Yeah.
scare me really bad.
So the distribution fits with the S1 joint, sacral 1. So it could still be a disc, but that's the pattern that it takes. It could be a little bit of the sciatic nerve as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it says like it could take weeks for it to resolve. So
Yeah, that's what they told me.
I went to the chiropractor twice. I went to see the doctor at urgent care just to make sure
Mm-hmm.
because the numbness scared me. I was like, what does that mean, you know?
Yeah.
There's a very serious, like, weird thing that can happen called cauda equina syndrome, and
Oh
it's a
god.
surgical emergency. So,
Doctors going
yeah.
to doctors. Doctors going to
So,
see
I was like,
doctors. Crazy.
I am not an ortho person. I remember very little, and I just need reassurance that I don't need to do anything more. So, she did all the things, no imaging just yet, but physical
Mhm.
therapy is indicated. So, that's probably what I'll be doing in the next few weeks is getting into physical therapy.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did you go to work?
Wednesday, I could not. That's why I was crying
Okay.
because I could not get dressed.
Okay.
I
I was
couldn't.
curious because, like, I'm not one of those people that, like, is like, "Well, I'll go and see if it gets better." No. No.
I
I'm not.
tried.
I
I tried.
there are nights when I just don't get good enough sleep, and I know
Yeah.
at 4 a.m., I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to work tomorrow." Just I
I
know.
haven't called in sick
No, you don't.
since December of 2023. And I remember because we were supposed to go to a show downtown and
Mhm.
I felt so bad. I was like, what is wrong with
I
me?
remember you
And I had
talking to me about
COVID.
that one. Yep, I
I
remember.
had, and so then I didn't go to work Monday and Tuesday because I had COVID. And I was like, I can't sit in a room with somebody.
That was the year we all had COVID.
Yeah.
'Member? Oh,
Yeah.
you got it from us.
Probably so.
I remember now.
The
You came
apex
over.
predator got me.
Yes. Yes. She was sick, and then you're like, "Oh my god, I have COVID," and I was like, "Fuck," and then I tested us, and I'm like, "We have COVID," and
There it
then
is.
Trina's like, "Well, I have it, don't worry," but we were all done by Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, good
So
times.
I
Good
was like, "Wow, it's
times.
been a hot minute since I had to call in," and I was like, "I am so sorry. I don't know what else to do." I'm like, "I literally don't know what else to do."
Yeah,
So,
I was just curious.
I'm going to work tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. At least it doesn't hurt, right? It's just numb.
Mhm, mhm,
It's weird as fuck, but whatever. So, our story this week, we wanted to touch on the and there's more than one story in Texas, but specifically, what we were wanting to discuss were the deceased people found in the water at Lady Bird Lake, which is right outside of Austin, Texas. And since 2022, if I'm not mistaken, the numbers have increased more so
mhm,
than you would expect to see just by virtue of this is the population and it's a big
mhm,
waterway. So you're going to have, you can expect like X number of drownings to occur and all that stuff.
mhm, mhm,
And then that made us also want to kind of touch on a little bit of our very first episode, the Chicago River Killer,
mhm,
supposed theorized,
mhm,
because of the victimology, essentially the way the people like they all fit a certain demographic, and it's like kind of interesting that there could be something more to that story. And when my sister first told me about the Texas thing, I remember saying, like, kind of jokingly, I was like, did the Chicago guy, like, move to Texas or something? Because
She
it
sure did.
seemed so similar. I was like, "What is happening?"
So we talked about it last week what did we talk about it last week when we did something? And
When
then
we
I
did
said,
Son
"We're
of
gonna"
Sam,
maybe, and then I said, "We're gonna
maybe?
talk about it, we're gonna cover it." And
Yeah, I
then
don't know if it's in the recording, but yeah, that's why we
it
decided.
is, and then I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." And I am just gonna say speculation over fucking load here, but that's okay.
100% all
It's okay.
speculation.
All speculation, no
Theory, theory,
theory, theory,
theory.
theory, theory. And but my sources for this story are, episode 1 of Murder with My Sister, theorized Chicago River Killer,
We're a source too, I love it.
NBC Chicago 5
Ah,
Investigates, the
okay.
Wikipedia page, Smiley Face Murder Theory, and
Yeah,
Chicago
there was that. Yep.
Strangler. And I also did some just brief internet Googling of the things for Texas. I used, Gemini a lot for that, though.
So I looked at Wikipedia, a lot of Newsweek, and because it's all like right now,
Mhm.
a lot of, I think it's an NBC Media affiliate,
Mhm. Mhm.
KXAN News, which is, I think, an Austin based channel. I don't know the number of the channel, but
Do you
a lot
know
of that, it was news reports that I looked at.
Austin was one of the names I wanted when we were having names for Cashton.
It's an awesome name, I
It's a
think,
great
for a
name.
little boy. Yeah.
And Cameron.
I
Cameron was
remember
a Cam
Cameron.
Cammy Cam Cam. Cameron
Yeah.
was a Cam I think Aunt Debbie was really pissed that I didn't go with maybe not that I didn't go with Cameron, but maybe just upset that I picked Cashton over Cameron. But
I
she's
mean,
cash money. That boy is money.
I it is what it
He's
is.
so
I
cute.
agree.
So, also, like, after the speculation and all that stuff,
Mhm.
in June, it was June 18th, 2024, was when my sister and I sat down to record our first episode of our podcast
It was June?
in the basement. It was in my
It
basement.
was! It was
Mhm.
in the tornado room
In the
under the
tornado room, and we
stairs.
were
Wow.
squished trying so hard to be, like, sound people,
It was so
and
bad.
so I think did we record that episode, like, 3 times?
Yes,
I
because
don't
we did
fucking
it in
know.
the one that
Mhm.
we ultimately ended up, like, posting was recorded, I think, in the upstairs bedroom of the
Of your
house in
house.
Shorewood. Yeah.
So, we had told her, I'm like, "Don't tell me what story you're doing. I'm not gonna tell you what story I'm doing."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Let's just do, and then we'll tell each other that day." And she's like, "Okay." And I went over to her house, and not only were we both doing the same story, we both had the same fucking pictures
Yep.
printed. Oh my god,
Yep.
it was kismet. Is that what they call it, kismet?
Kismet. Yep.
Or because
I
we shared the
remember that.
same womb.
Probably so.
We could go back to that Fran Power.
I mean,
Um
I do remember that you saw my printouts, like, I actually had
Mhm.
paper printed out and you saw the picture and you're like, "Are you doing?" And I was like, "Wait,
Yes.
did you pick it?" And we
Yes.
both picked the same thing
We
unknowingly. That's
did.
crazy.
Yeah, because we were twinning.
There it
So
is.
I wanted to give you a brief rundown of the episode 1.
Mhm,
So if you didn't listen to it, you don't have to go back to the beginning, although we hope you do. It was one of our most popular episodes for a long
mhm.
time. And then I think Lane
Lane
Bryant
Bryant just
blew it
blew it.
out of the yeah.
Did you see the numbers? It's been listened to over 250 times.
I did not.
Holy guacamole.
Did you know that the documentary, opened this weekend in select
Yeah,
theaters? I
yeah.
wanted to go really bad, and I just couldn't work it into my schedule. I really fucking wanted to go to wait for it on Netflix. Okay, so the spring 2022 cluster. So this is back in our story. We're going to cluster these categories again
Mhm,
because they were broad, right? We had
mhm,
different victims, we had different
mhm,
ages, we had different locations.
mhm.
So what I did was organize that into clusters. So the
Alright.
spring 2022 cluster began with a startling frequency of recoveries, primarily involving women and other individuals. Um, and they started in March of 2022. Kathleen Martin,
Mhm,
49, was found in the Chicago River in the Caldwell Woods.
mhm.
April 2022, a triple recovery weekend. That was the weekend we had 3. One of them
Yeah.
was the older woman. She was Yuit Sang,
Mhm.
80, and an unidentified woman in the different part of the river, and then an unidentified man in Lake Michigan. And I don't think they ever like released who they were.
They've never been identified.
No, and do you
If they
remember
have, it's not been made, like,
right,
broadly
public. Right.
public, like,
Right.
Googleable.
Mhm.
I'm sure we could probably petition for some sort of information if
Girl,
we wanted to, but
girl,
yeah,
I
I'll
am
be
not trying to fill
retired
out a
before that
FOIA
happened.
request right here. You know what I think I'm afraid of with the FOIA request is that they might give me what I ask for. And then then I will be like, "Fuck,
I really didn't need to
I
see
didn't
that.
want all this." Um,
Probably
so
so.
then late April 2022, Karina Pena Alanis, 31, a pregnant mother of 3, was found in the river. Um, and the double disappearance of Natalie Brookson, 22, and Daniel Sotelo, 26. They went missing within 24 hours of each other.
Mhm.
Natalie was found in the lake in early May. Daniel was found several miles north in the Wilmette 3 weeks later.
That still boggles my mind. They
Yes.
went missing from different places
Yes.
on the same day and both ended up in the water.
Mhm.
I don't I you cannot
No,
no,
no.
no.
There's no coincidence. There
Something
that's
happened.
something happened, that's
Mm-mm,
not coincidence. Ooh, but when
mm-mm.
we're done with this, I have a blurb of ugliness at the end.
Ugh, okay.
Yeah, it made me so this one got me a little upset when I was researching it late because of one of the theories that I saw online, and I didn't like it
Okay.
at all. I really did not
Oh,
like it. So
okay.
now we have the young men pattern. So this is late 2022 and 2023. Um, and the profile of the victims shifted towards young professional men or students that disappeared
Mhm.
after nights out. And the pattern has drawn comparisons to the smiley face killer. So this is another
Yeah.
theory that we'll talk about that I didn't really like towards the end. I'll tell you why, but I didn't really like it.
Okay.
So there was an alcohol accidental duo, which was
Mhm.
Christoph Schubert, 21, and Peter Salvino, 25. They had both been at parties in December and were both found in the water, and both of their deaths were ruled accidental. And with ethanol intoxication. And this is one of the things that really made me so fucking pissed off. Do you remember? Because I was like, nobody's fucking going down to the river to take a goddamn walk in December. Like, I
It's
mean,
too blustery. It's painful.
and those were the Decembers where we had those really, really, really cold
Cold
Decembers.
snaps. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, like, your face hurts, people.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
care how drunk you are. It still hurts.
early 2023, Anthony Rucker, 23, and Joel Orduno, 24. Um, Rucker's death was ruled a suicide while Orduno's remained
Mhm.
undetermined.
Hmm.
Um Seamus Gray, 21, was
Yeah.
also escorted from a Waukegan bar and seen in a strange confrontation on video, and he was found a month later in the harbor. So these are
Eesh.
all um, in early 2023. And then Noah Enos, 26,
Yeah.
disappeared from that salt shed venue.
His
And
sister was the one who was on the news, all that,
I think it was
right? Was it
his
his
girlfriend and his
girlfriend?
brother. And she was
Yeah.
very, very compelling in that this was not a fucking accident,
Yeah.
and she knows that he's not the first, and she said, "I fucking hope he's the last." Like,
Yeah, I
she's
remember
very,
that.
very yeah. And then we had, um, Javon Nelson. This is
Mhm.
where our story essentially ended. He had been found in the Calumet River in April of 2024, and this one was one where he had called his mom, and she could hear him.
Mm.
He was calling her to ask her to come, and she's like, "I was on the phone with him," and he said to her, "Can you hear that?" And this was right
Oh,
before he
no.
had gone missing, and then they found him.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
our episode 1 left off, I mean, obviously, it had more detail in it than this, but
Mhm.
it left us with, "Is there a serial killer working in Illinois?" Then my sister and I are, like, kinda watching the news, right? Kind of feeling things
I
out,
think
seeing
the
things
more
here to
that
there.
I think the more that I use my phone, or the computer to search for things, the technologies and the AIs put
Mhm.
stuff into my news like,
Oh, girl, I hate it.
flashes. It's like Big Brother is listening all the time,
All the
dude,
time.
all the time.
I
It's
either get I
crazy.
either get murder or goats in pajamas. It's and I'm just like,
Yes.
Man, the wackiness, they're like cats slapping cats, I think is my all-time fucking favorite videos to watch because I
I
don't know
love
if
hearing the thump. So, tunk,
they're
tunk, tunk, tunk.
so ruthless. But yeah, they give me cats slapping cats, goats in
I love it.
pajamas, and then murder. And
I
that's
love it.
where and that's where and that's where when we had started I don't wanna call it advertising, that's so like, we're not really doing that, but, like, when we had started telling people that we were doing this,
Yeah.
I think Renee was one that sent me the article about the Texas, and I'm like, okay, we'll talk about it."
And that's the other part, right? Is like all of our family and our friends are probably more than half of our listeners, and they'll send us stuff. Like
Yes.
Charmaine sends me stories and stuff. Like she's like, "Oh, talk about this one," and so we're getting a lot of information too from people
Yes.
who
Yes, yes, yes.
listen. Okay,
Yeah. Mhm.
so in terms of Texas,
Mm.
Illinois is Illinois, right? I
Mhm.
feel like Illinois is like a normal size state. Like I wouldn't call it
Sure.
a big state. I wouldn't say it's a tiny state.
I think we have some
Chicago,
size. I think we got girth.
but Chicago in my brain is a very big city.
Agreed.
To drive from the south side of Chicago to
Yep.
the north side of Chicago would take you hours. So it's
I
a little
think
weird, like, like when I first visited St. Louis,
but I
everyone's
think
like, oh,
the
that's downtown, but it's like you blink and it's gone
I
because
think
it's not that
if
big.
you word it though, it could take you hours.
It could,
It could, but that's
depending on
because of
traffic.
traffic
Yeah,
and
yeah,
streets. But it also could or shouldn't, like, to go from the south side to the north side. Like, it shouldn't take you hours, but it could take you hours. But if you went to the southern tip of Chicago and got on, let's just use 94 as an example,
yeah,
and
and went
took it
straight through the middle
straight
and up.
through with no traffic, maybe not. But then
Maybe an hour?
but then you have O'Hare.
Yeah, I know.
They just went and gave Chicago O'Hare right in the middle of a bunch of fucking suburbs.
I know. I
Fucking
know.
liars.
I know.
Little lying liars who lie.
Lie. But when I look at Texas,
Mhm.
it is huge. It is so
It is.
big.
It is.
Like I can't even
Isn't that
like
their thing?
wow.
Isn't it
Everything's
like
bigger in Texas.
that's what it is?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I was like, they have a thing that they like to say. I have a coffee cup from Texas that's
Yeah.
like a soup bowl with
A
a
soup
handle.
bowl.
With just a handle on it. And I'm like, who's drinking coffee out of this? How much coffee is going in there?
Yes.
And didn't Texas want to be their own country at one point? Or is that like a
I
continual
don't know.
battle for them?
Sure. I don't
Okay.
know.
Isn't
So,
isn't that new show that I was telling you about takes place in Texas?
what
It's
new
very
show?
scandalous. The girls, the Texas Wives Club, is that what it's called?
Oh, I don't even know.
Girl.
I don't
Girl.
I never watched those.
I think you should.
Okay.
I think you should.
So, when I first started looking up articles in Texas,
Mhm.
there were a lot of things that popped into the feed.
Mhm.
The one that we think is a little sus
Oh,
is surrounding Austin, Texas,
okay.
and there's a reservoir that is called Lady Bird Lake.
S-
And I think it might be called Town Lake
Mhm.
before it was named Lady Bird Lake. It is actually part of the Colorado River system, and it
Mhm.
was dammed and then it filled up with water. So
Mhm.
it's I guess kind of a man-made lake.
Mhm.
But the other things that popped up had to do with Houston, Texas, and the bayous. Now, Houston, Texas is way on the east side of Texas. It's very close to Louisiana, so swampy situation. They have a lot of bayous and all that jazz. It is hours of a drive between Houston and Austin. So there were more than when you first start searching for things,
Mhm.
there was more than one thing that popped up.
I'm looking at a map of Texas right now. It is pretty fucking gigantic.
It's huge. I think
It's
it's like
right in the
half of
middle
our
of
country square footage wise.
like literally two states are on either like it the way that it just makes its own split in other states. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is big. Okay. So you got me on the subject. You got me thinking because I had seen the picture and it said
Mhm.
that a body was recovered from a bayou. Bayou?
Mhm.
And I
A
was like,
bayou, yeah.
what's okay, so what's the difference between a bayou and a river? Um, because they look noticeably different. And also the area around it. So we had talked about the Chicago River, and
Mhm.
the Chicago River is kinda like where you could stand on one side of it and scream across to the person
Yeah.
on the other side. It's also swimmable, like, not that you want to, but you
Ooh,
could.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
in
yeah.
some areas, it's much wider, in some areas, it's more narrow, um, deeper and all that good stuff. So when I saw this picture The landscape around this bayou was like nothing that you would walk to. Like,
I don't even know
I
if you
wouldn't f
can, like, I feel
Yeah,
like there's, like, tall grass and stuff,
yeah.
but there's not actually any earth there, it's
And
just
and and then
swamp.
it was like this canyon that just sloped down to it, where I'm
Yeah.
like, "You're not walking on that. You're not going down there to have a walk against the river or
That
the
right?
bayou.
Like,
You're
there's no
not
one who's gonna wade
n
out
I'm
in
not
that
walking down there. I'm not gonna be like, 'Hey, let's go take a walk by the bayou
and
and get through,
no.
like, 62 miles of brush, thorn
And
prickles,
mud
and
up to
then
your knees and
and then
whatever?
fall
No.
down this tumbly crumbly road."
Mhm.
So, that's what I had found out was that bayous are slow-moving, shallow, marshy, or swampy, and
Yeah.
often brackish bodies of water. I
Do you
didn't
know
know
what
that.
brackish is?
I put it right in here. Do you know what brackish is?
I know what it is. Do you know what it
It
is?
is. It's a mixture of salt and fresh water.
There it is.
Do you know that means scarier things are in there? That's what that means.
I'll give you
So,
that.
there is. And then rivers feature swifter currents, they're clearly
Okay.
defined banks. I didn't know that, clearly defined banks.
That makes
Bayous have
sense.
minimal flow. They are often shrouded in vegetation and act as a sluggish connector between lakes, rivers, and seas. So,
Okay.
I get there is a different type of vibe from a
Yeah.
bayou to a river.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't know if one is friendlier than the other because they both seem like they have an equal amount of terror to them.
I feel like bayous might actually be worse in
Oh,
that
great. I mean, we're
you
about
can
to
get
find out.
stuck in the muck and not be able to free yourself and then end up drowning in very, like, not very deep water just because the mud sucks you in. And
Can
I'm
you
not even talking
imagine
about alligators and snakes.
if you got your foot stuck and then like water started rising and you're just
Yeah,
watching your own self
yeah,
slowly be sucked underwater?
that scares me, like, not being able
Ugh.
to get myself loose.
Okay.
Okay, so Houston is about 2 hours drive away from Austin, according to my Google. It's very close to Louisiana. I think has more of a similar climate to
Mhm.
Louisiana, like humid and swampy. There does appear to be an increase in the number of bodies pulled from the various bayous around Houston in the past couple years as compared to previous years.
Mhm.
So 2024, 2025, the news says there was a threefold increase in the number of drowning related deaths in the bayous. Some are determined, some are explained. A very small number were absolutely foul play, like they pulled somebody out who had a gunshot wound,
Mhm.
kind of a situation. But there were a lot that they left as undetermined, but no foul play was suspected. So even though there was an increase in the number of drownings, it's not no one around Houston is worried about like a serial killer because there's so much waterways that when you take into account the miles of water
Mhm.
and the population number, you're going to have like on average X number of people in a city this size with access to water and recreational sports. It's going to be, whatever, 15 people a year or whatever the number is,
But
right?
you just used a very important word, recreational sports.
Well, that
Nobody's
fishing,
recreationaling in a bayou.
they're fishing.
Ugh.
So that's what they're saying is like they're
Okay.
fishing and,
Okay.
they're in boats and stuff like that. So
Alright.
neither here nor there. But all that stuff popped up around when I was doing like researching things and I
Mhm.
was like, this wasn't what I was looking for.
Mhm.
When I was like, wait a minute. And then I realized it was actually Austin and Lady Bird Lake is what the
Okay.
article probably that Raina sent. But
Renee.
Renee, pardon me.
Okay.
Okay.
So, our story left off with the last person that we had talked about, Javon Nelson, who was pulled from the Calsag River in April of 2024,
Mhm.
and up until we'll talk about this later, but I'm gonna drop a breadcrumb here. Up
Okay.
until this past Thursday,
Yeah.
as in the 12th. There
Okay.
weren't any bodies that had been recovered from the
No.
Chicago River. We've had drownings, we've had a lot of like, over the summer now that I'm hyper
Aware, yeah.
aware, I'm, like, I can't figure out why people are still swimming in Lake Michigan.
I
Like,
don't think I
I
would do more
don't
than, like, my knees or my waist, but
I cannot tell you how many times we heard of a search and rescue for
yeah,
a body recovery, and I'm like, "People, stay
yeah,
out of Lake Michigan."
I
But
agree.
so we'll talk about that one that we had just gotten to, but, I just wanted to mention that. So this was we ended in 2024.
Mhm.
Okay.
April of 2024,
Mhm.
and then it was quiet.
And now we're back in Texas.
Okay. So the area in question is Lady Bird Lake. It's still known as Town Lake, probably by locals.
Mhm.
It's a river-like reservoir that's part of the Colorado River system in Austin, Texas. They created this reservoir in 1960 as a cooling pond for the new city power plant. It has a surface area of 416 acres. She's big. She's big.
I read somewhere, and I'm sure I put it in here, that it was like 6 miles
I
of
don't know what
water.
acres equate to. It's big.
I don't either, so I just know miles.
All
We
right
already
then.
talked about my problem with acres.
And it was named in honor of the First Lady of the United States, Lady Bird Johnson. So President Johnson's wife.
There
So
you
they call
go.
it Lady Bird Lake.
Thank you, Texas.
Um, the rumored killer was given the moniker Rainey Street Ripper due to the proximity of the popular bar and restaurant area of Austin and the lake. So
So
this is like Chicago,
right.
where there is a very like hop-in nightclubish bar central kind of whatever
Mhm,
on more than one part of this
mhm.
lake. Like it's on, I don't know, opposite shores or but like geographically, there's a lot of bars and restaurants and nightlife surrounding.
So,
Very similar to
yes,
Chicago.
I read that it has, that Rainy Street has a very backyard party kind of feel to it, blended historic charm with modern high energy nightlife, popular for day drinking, evening cocktails and dining, often
Mhm.
featuring relaxed, crowded patios. One of my favorite names of ever is Banger Sausage House and
Love
Beer
it.
Garden. So they did say that Rainy Street was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1985. So that's how it's got that like old time, like classic vibe, but new
Mhm.
gentrified thing. And there are most of the restaurants and bars are open in the afternoon, but there are plenty that are open until 2 a.m. So you can happily drink yourself into oblivion. You can
Mhm.
start like all of us in our old age like to right in the early hours of the day, and you can
Mhm.
just keep on trucking right on through the night.
So, according to my San Antonio, bodies have shown up in Lady Bird Lake for most of its history, right? It's a
Mhm.
lake.
It's a
Obviously,
lake,
people
right.
are going to drown
It's
and all
water.
that.
Right.
Accidents happen. However, they started to gain media attention when 6 men with similar features were found dead around the same time in 2022. Then in early 2023, 5 more people were found, all men, all who had gone missing after being out with friends on Rainy Street late at night. And
Okay.
all except one, the police said had drowned accidentally.
Okay, I really, really, really wish that I had my whiteboard now.
I
Pause,
know the
pause.
dates.
Okay. Well, because here's the thing. It doesn't even have to be that ours completely stopped
Hmm.
because you remember there were
No,
gaps
no, there were
where
gaps.
we're
I
like, "Oh,
agree.
he was quiet," and it was and maybe he was vacationing or extended leaving,
Is
like
this like because
a
the girls were there
flybird? Wait, what do they call
bi-coastal?
no, what's the word when they're like, "Blah, caw," and I go away in the winter because it's too cold here,
Oh, wait,
and then I c
snowbirds.
snowbirds, and then I come back, so I really wish that I had done a little more homework on this to find out when these clusters were compared to when we had a quiet time,
Interesting.
but I didn't
Interesting.
because you just brought this up just now.
I know. I'm
Okay.
telling you a story.
Well,
Okay.
now I didn't know to do that
Well, there it
research.
is.
Okay.
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 In
Oh,
September.
yeah. Sorry about that. I went off on my little tangent. In September of 2025, because, okay, we're getting some media. People are talking. They're all whispering as people are wont to do. A
Mhm.
comprehensive study by the Texas State University, because we don't want any bad publicity in Texas, in
Mhm.
collaboration with the Austin Police Department, officially debunked the serial killer theory. The study analyzed 189 drowning cases from 2004 to
Mhm.
2025. Okay.
'Kay.
They said there's no serial killer. There were no clusters or forensic links like trauma or DNA. The alcohol water factor. So, again, we have drinking. They were ruled accidental.
Mm.
Autopsies frequently cited high levels of intoxication, and the
Mhm.
proximity of Rainey Street to
Mhm.
dark, easily accessible shorelines makes that a risk factor. Okay.
Okay.
And then they lastly said they have natural hazards. So, investigations into recent cases, such as the teenager who drowned in June of 2025,
Mhm.
highlighted the danger of underwater
Oh, yeah, that
shelves.
was a really terrible story.
Do
It's
you,
on my list, I'll tell you about it.
I'm gonna stop there and let you go then. So this is where I was saying this is I feel like this lake is like a lake. Not
Mhm.
like our lake, not like Lake Michigan that's a
Mhm.
ocean in the middle of the state, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
6 miles, and people are boating and kayaking, and there's stuff around there, and they're saying that all these people just fell in and drowned to the tune of, like, 30 people.
And nobody sees it, nobody notices.
They
I
noticed
don't
because they
know.
did their little study, but the timeline was one I wanted to really kinda look into, but I guess I didn't realize it at the time how much. And then I also wanted to just kinda mention this because we did talk about a lot in Chicago. The
Mm,
temperatures in Texas, like,
yeah.
they vary, but again, what I wanna mention is that December is one of the coldest months generally in Texas, and I bring this up because if you see I have statewide averages here, like
Yeah.
low 50s and 60s. People in warmer climates consider that, like, freezing, like, we
Yeah, I know.
consider
Like,
the
if it
right.
hits 50, people here in
Girl,
Montrose are wearing parkas,
girl.
but I'm wearing, like, a vest.
So if you live in Texas and Renee's there, she could have told me, if you live in Texas and it's December and you're, like, from there and it's down to 43, are you thinking like I'm thinking back when I was like, "Nobody's walking down there in December, it's fucking freezing, you're gonna get your" but
No.
or are they like, "Oh, it's not that," like, what are they thinking? Are they
Yeah,
thinking,
I
"Fuck that,
didn't
it's too cold," or "Let's put on a jacket and take a nice brisk walk"?
I feel like they're not afraid of it.
Texas
It's
aren't
not
they're
the
not
same.
afraid?
No.
Okay.
I feel like they're doing it.
Alright, go. Go on.
Alright. So
Alright.
since 2022,
'Kay.
what I read was there's also mention that if on initial exam, like, they pull someone from the water
Mhm.
and there's not an obvious homicide situation, like a bullet hole or something like that, they're not always fully autopsied. Like, I
That
think
is disturbing.
they call it a view, where it's just like an
Sis,
external investigation, and if they don't see anything alarming, they don't necessarily, like, do the whole thing.
so can I tell you, I'm gonna pause you and ask, I wanna know, does Texas what are their SOPs for any death investigation? Like, and I don't mean murder, I mean death investigation. So, like, for example, do you remember I told you last week that I was at that party and Eric's friend does the
Oh, yeah, yeah.
X-raying?
Yeah.
So he does them, I guess here, any
Mhm.
person that passes gets an
Yeah.
X-ray,
Yeah.
unless it's like hospice or something like that. But they X-ray them in any case where it's not hospital or hospice
It's not a
as part of
witness
their
death.
right as part of their procedure.
Yeah.
So because that's where you see broken bones and
Yeah.
so does Texas not
So,
do that?
like,
So I can't see the broken bones, so the broken bone's not there?
I think they X-ray people.
Okay.
I think that's standard operating procedure. So they would be able to see, like, a projectile like a bullet or
Okay.
something like that. But I
Okay.
think when they don't see any outward signs of trauma or injury,
Mhm.
then the main, like, look-see is gonna be the toxicology, and that's how they end up where, "Oh, this person was drinking too much," or "They were impaired," or "They had these drugs in their system," and that sort of thing.
Okay.
If I don't yeah, it's weird, but I'm sure that there's a way that they do this. Okay.
Okay.
So, July
Take it away.
2022,
Mhm.
Ricky Parks,
Mhm.
59, there was a report of a body floating in the water. They pull him out of the water. They're able to ID him. They say no foul play, and that's it. That's all I could
That's
find.
it.
That's it. I don't even know if anyone had reported him missing. Had he been drinking? Like, there's no information. So
Okay.
then this is one of those ones where they send off all the things, but then they never, like, print anything further about, "Oh, this came back and this is closed." The only articles are when they're found. December 2022, 6 months or so later. Christopher, Gutierrez,
Mhm.
similar story, report of a body in the water, later ID'd as Christopher, and all it says is no foul play is suspected. December 19th, 2022, Jose Moreno. This was proven, so we
Okay.
can take Jose off the list.
Okay.
Basically, wrong place, wrong time.
Okay.
He was in the park, a bunch of hoodlums started fighting or whatever the hell. Jose got in his car and tried to drive away from whatever was happening. They shot at him, they hit him, and he ran into a guardrail and then into the lake and
Oh,
drowned.
no.
So that was the week after Christopher.
So wait, these people chasing him, they
They didn't know that he was just in the park. They thought he was, like, the rival gang probably or
Oh,
something of that situation. Yeah.
no. Okay.
So, um, December 28th, 2022, Kyle Thornton, 56, report of a body in the water, no foul play suspected.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you just for a quick second here. No foul play suspected,
Mhm.
but this is 3 inside of 2 weeks.
That's the
So
thing.
isn't that in itself
Suspicious?
suspicious? Because what are we gonna call that? Like, I don't know, like,
The law of
a
averages
lot?
would say that it's a
Like,
lot.
yeah, like,
And these are
I'd be like,
young
"Well, gosh
people.
darn
These
it,
aren't,
these all
like,
look."
elderly people.
Even I feel like if it was even if it was, like, they had too much to drink, part of
Mhm.
me would be like, "Okay, well then okay, hang on, guys, because there's 3 in 2 weeks. Maybe do we need to find out where they're being served?" Like, something really simple as
Yeah.
maybe it's innocent and not malicious in its intent, but also this is 3 in 2 weeks.
It's a
Per
little too easy.
Perhaps there should be a little something wait,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna say it. This deserves a bigger conversation.
There it is.
Okay,
Okay. February 2023, Jason John. So this one potentially could come off the list.
okay.
According to reports, he's a 30-year-old guy. He was witnessed by a bystander to be vomiting on the bank of Lady Bird Lake, and then they think fell into the water and just went under.
Okay, okay, so they saw him throwing up, but they didn't see him fall in, or they saw him fall in and they just couldn't find him afterwards?
I think that they saw him fall in and they couldn't get to him. So it
Okay,
says, like, after attempting to aid the decedent, the bystander finally just ran to a nearby hotel and called
okay,
911.
alright,
So that one potentially you could take off the list.
okay,
March 5th, Axtell, 40 years
mhm.
old. This one is signed out as undetermined. It's unclear how he got in the water. It was an unwitnessed event. No specific findings at autopsy to confirm drowning is the cause of death. Now, I
Wha
do read some Case Scarpetta novels, and there is a way that you know if
No.
they drown by this, like, bubbles and things that they do with the lungs. They can tell you if the
Okay,
person drowned. So,
okay,
anyway,
okay,
so the official cause and manner of death were best certified as undetermined. And then the report just said the medical examiner's opinion would be updated if new information became available. And then I guess in reviewing things, there was medical records suggesting that he had a diagnosis of severe depression,
Okay.
but the family member said he had never expressed any suicidal ideations.
Okay.
So this is one where it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Okay.
Could be an accident, but all right. April 1st, Jonathan Honey, 33, drinking at a bar and then left his friends to go find something to eat. He was reported missing to the Austin police on March 31st. So it must have been like the 31st into April 1st, middle of the night. His body was later recovered near Rainey Street. He did have alcohol in his system, but the only drugs found on the testing were your normal over the counter medicines
Mhm.
or things that were prescribed to him. So he's on the list,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
April 15th, just a couple weeks later, Christopher
Uh-huh.
Hayes Clark. He is a 12-year-old son. He's a dad. Reports of body in the water. Christopher's pulled from the water, later identified. Nothing suspicious found. Just signed out as no foul play suspected.
Okay, hang on. Because you now we're getting back into where it's 1 and then 2, but February 13th, March
Yeah.
5th, April 1st, it's not like there's enough time in between these where I'm just like it's still a lot for me.
I feel like that's what they're talking about is like there's this like this little chunk of time at the end of 2022 and then there's another chunk of time early 2023 where the
Okay.
number of people who are undetermined or no foul play suspected it just doesn't the law of averages is not it's not computing the math
Okay.
ain't mathing
No,
kind of
oh,
a
girl.
situation.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Okay. June 27th, Moga Dogali, not listed as a missing person. The police get a call, body in the lake, pull him out, ID him. No foul play suspected. They haven't really, and all these things is like they haven't said that they've determined a cause of death. They just don't outwardly appear suspicious. So here's my thing.
Mhm.
Let me ask you
Ask me.
if a predator either got someone drunk or came across
Mhm.
an easy appearing victim because they
Mhm.
were already intoxicated.
Mhm.
Somehow got them down to the water, like, hey, come on, buddy,
Mhm.
whatever. Pushes them in or they fall in, whatever. And he gets his pleasure, if you would, by
Yeah.
just pushing them under and pushing them under and watching
S
them struggle and
Do
drown.
you remember what I said when we
Yeah,
had talked about the Chicago River killer? Because some of the bodies were found in the lake. And I said, "What if this fucking guy has a boat
has a boat.
and he's taking them out just far enough that
Yep,
you're not swimming back to shore, and he plops them over, and then he just watches while they struggle until they go under."
yep.
It's and then I think I told that free anecdote where I said I was gonna drown her that one time in her pool in her little high rise where she kept coming to the edge and I kept pushing her. I'm like, "Don't come over here. Don't come over here." But it's just one of those things where is your jam and jelly where you watch somebody struggle until they just
Yeah,
go under. So,
exactly.
yeah.
So all these no
Yeah.
foul play suspected,
Yeah.
they're not gonna have any outward signs of
Because they
violence
they
on
what do
them.
they call it? They fatigued, they
Yeah,
tired, and they just went
they're
under.
intoxicated.
Mm.
They're already like behind the 8
So,
ball.
then I'm gonna bring this right back to, even if there's nothing suspicious, don't we wanna just take a peek at maybe the over-serving that might be happening on Rainey Street?
Exactly. Like cameras and things like where were they? Who did they come into contact with if we can figure that part of it out?
Mhm.
If they're out and about, these places nowadays, come on.
There's
Everybody's got
cameras
freaking
everywhere,
cameras
and if
everywhere.
they don't, everybody's filming everything everywhere.
True.
So even if they don't, if they said if the police
ATM
department was
cameras.
like, "Hey, we have this guy that went missing. Can everybody check their phone?" They did that with the bombing in the marathon bombing in New
Yeah,
York.
they
They
did.
said,
Yeah.
"Everybody check your cameras. If we need everybody to send," and we need everybody to send
Yeah.
us what you see, and that's how they were able to
You're
find
right.
that guy. Kind of, I mean, they've got like, I'm guessing 50 billion stills or whatever, but I'm just saying
They could
that on a
trace his
small yes,
movements.
that on a smaller scale, let's take a peek at what might be happening over
Mhm.
there on Rainey Street. Unless we're okay with it. Unless we're just like, I mean,
And then it appears to have stopped. And the next person that
hmm.
they find is
Hmm.
February 5th, 2024, so 6 months
So
goes by,
interesting that it just stopped.
and it just says there's an unidentified female, then in February, and then an unidentified person in April, and then an unidentified male in September. For
Okay.
2024, 3 people unidentified over the course of almost the entire year. But just prior to that, we're like bam, bam, bam,
Why
bam
are
every 2
so
weeks.
unidentified just means nobody's ever claimed them? Is
They
that
could be unhoused, they can
okay?
be illegal immigrants, like who knows, but no
Okay.
one's reported them missing and they weren't
Has
able
come
to
for them.
identify them.
Okay.
All right. So then December 2024, nope,
So
Thee?
hang on, because now February 2024 and December 24, that's another big break.
Yeah.
That's 10 months.
So, what it means to me is that those 2 clusters, if you would, where there were a
Mhm.
lot of things
Mhm.
that happened in a short period of time, if on average 2024 is about normal, where it's like 4 people in a whole year,
Mhm.
how do you explain 6 people in the space of 12
Right.
12 weeks,
Right.
give or
Okay.
take?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So December 2024, Thi Lang Nguyen, 60 years old. She was a female unhoused person. They just said accident, no foul play suspected.
And she
That
was
same
found in lake in this we're talking these are all
in
still
the
in the same
lake.
lake. Okay,
Correct.
what no, I need no. No. You can't just say no foul play. What are they
Mhm.
doing there? How did they get there? Like, where is the detecting on this?
That's it.
Or was there detecting and that's what they
Or
concluded?
did the coroner just say no foul play suspected and then they don't feel they need to work it up any further than that?
Oh, I would love
So
to
nobody
fucking know. So
bothers.
is it the coroner saying, "Yeah, this one's" I
Like
mean, what
giving
do they
them the
give the
nod.
thumbs up?
"Mm,
Like, "This
this
one's good?"
one's
And then
I
the
don't know.
police are like, "I good. I
I
okay." Okay.
December 2024, unidentified male, no foul play suspected. They haven't identified him.
So he just fell in and
Like, what is
drowned?
your answer then?
What does that mean? I need to know more. I need to what does no foul play suspected mean? So they drowned? What give me more then. Did they have a high blood alcohol content? Did were they
But
like
that's the
give
thing
me
is, like,
more.
even at the time that these people are found, if you suspect nothing was alarming, how come when the reports come back, there's no follow-up? How come they don't, like, further put it to rest? They just let it hang out there.
I
So
don't know.
March now we're in 2025, March
Okay.
2025, Jennifer Lynn Atkinson reports of a body in the lake. They find Jennifer, no foul play suspected. She's a 40, I think I found somewhere she was 40 years old-ish, and, like, but how did she die? How did it happen?
So, okay, so then let me for my own peace of mind, let's say that Jennifer was like a recreational swimmer. Is it swimming time in March? Because that's the other thing now.
It's kinda cold.
Are these times when these people would just be down there doing recreational things?
Mm-mm,
What are the variables? Where are the variables? Who, what, where, when, why,
mhm,
how? Like
mhm,
I feel like those are I'm gonna pretend that I'm in detecting school.
okay,
And I've never been in detecting school, but I'm gonna pretend that that's what they're gonna say to me on day 1. Who, what, where, when, why, how. Like, these are the things that always have to be answered.
mhm,
So, what was she doing down there? Who was she with? How did she get down there? Like, these are the things that I wanna know to lead me to say no foul play because it is foul that a 40-year-old woman has drowned.
just
For
ends
me,
up in
that's
the water.
foul. How did
I
she
agree.
so was she drowned? It's March. Is it cold out? Why was she down there?
I
Did she
feel like
drown
according
because
to
she
your
tired? Like, tell me w okay.
something.
Yeah.
according to your table, it's pretty freaking cold between
Yeah.
November to, say, March in Texas.
And
So it
if you're
doesn't sound
from
like people are gonna be,
Texas,
like, on the water in a paddleboard at that time.
if you're from Texas, and here's the other thing I'm going to just say. If you're from Texas, you're seeing these reports. Yes? So aren't you
Mhm.
even more cautious than
You would
normal?
think.
Okay, so it looks like Austin in March. Oh, you know what? They've got some balmy 73-degree weather.
Alright.
So it's not swimming weather, certainly not if you're from Texas. Those
It
motherfuckers
would be
probably need it to
cold.
be like 95 degrees before they get in the water. For us, yeah, but was she from Texas? Is she
Mhm.
from there?
I don't
And you
know. They
That's
don't
all.
really give you a
Okay.
whole lot of information.
I don't like that. I
Okay,
don't like that for us.
I know.
Okay.
So now this one was the one that you were talking about that we could probably take off the list. I think I read somewhere that he was 17. They didn't say what his name was. They just said unidentified male.
Mhm.
He fit it. They found a body in the water, right? And he fits the description of a teenage boy who investigators say was unknowingly standing near an underwater shelf when he slipped and did not resurface. He was out paddleboarding, kayaking with his family. He was standing in shallow water. He was not wearing his life vest. But he didn't know 2 steps later, he's suddenly in 100 feet of water. I don't know why, if he could not swim, that he was not wearing a life vest even in shallow water.
So, okay, so this whole shelf thing
It's
was
because it was a dammed river. Like, this isn't like a natural riverbed.
right, and
It was a
that's
yeah,
what I read was that that this thing is very like goes from
varying depths.
varying
Yeah.
depths, varying everything's, and the whole shelf thing they said was that it's literally like that. Like you'll be standing and you'll
Mhm.
just be right there and then you step off
And that's it.
and it's it. And
And you're
now
under.
so here's what I'm going to say about him. This one tragic, yes, but we
Yeah.
have more to go on. He was with family. What
Yeah.
was he doing? He was
Yeah.
recreational swimming. How did it happen? He was on a shelf. Like these are things that I feel like check off what I need to hear in order to take him off this list.
So it makes
And
those other ones just feel more
a
suspicious.
little more, a
Yeah.
little more.
Yeah.
And I've watched videos where people are like, because for me, I'm a swimmer, right? You're a swimmer.
Mhm.
So for
Mhm.
me, it's very hard to wrap my head around people who drown underwater
Yeah.
because I'm
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? You swim to the top. You just swim to the
Yeah.
top. And then I saw a video of what somebody posted, like what it looks like when you're drowning underwater, and they're moving, but they're not moving. They're staying under. And that's why
Yeah.
they're like, you have to stand still and it's hands up and down just once, and your
But they're
body will
just
start
flailing.
but they're flailing, and then they're like and then move your feet. So there's a real, like, specific technique. It's like arms
Yeah.
up, 1, 2, 3, arms down, then feet out, 1, 2, 3, and that propels your body up the
Mhm.
way that you should. But if you don't know to swim, then that so
Yeah.
I see from that perspective how people drown when they're right near people, especially if you're in water that is cloudy. I would imagine this is
Yeah.
not a crystal clear lake with all this
Probably
brackish
not.
water.
So the kid's dad, I don't know if he ever learned to swim, but when we were younger, he couldn't swim. He didn't know how to swim. And I can remember like being in the pool, like our pool in the backyard and stuff, and trying to teach him to swim. And Lisa, I swear to Christ, I don't know how.
I'm
he
not laughing.
literally he fell like a stone
How did they
every single
sink?
time. And I'm like, "But you
How?
have air in your
Your
lungs."
lungs.
I don't I cannot explain it. I
My
cannot.
friend
It
Michelle
was
Jenkins
bizarre.
asked me, she was the one that I gave the book, The Inside the Mind of a Serial Killer to, and
Okay.
then told me that I ruined her life because I gave her that book. I'll tell you, I think I told you the story, I'll tell you later, but she had asked me countless times. She's like, "Please teach me how to swim." And every time she would get away from the ledge and just sink.
It
And
was
I'm
like,
like,
boom.
"Michelle, move your arms and like just move them at all." And she would just I'm like, "Where are you going? Where
It
are you how are
boggled
you
my mind.
sinking?"
Yep. It
Okay.
was nuts.
Fucking let's all learn how to swim.
And then the last case for 2025, I think, was October. Amato Ravalos, this one was explained. There were 4 unhoused people that were caught up in rising storm waters. They were,
Oh.
like, camping or sleeping
Mhm.
down there. 2 of them were swept away. Amato was one of them, and they found him in the actual lake later, but this all occurred, like, in a tributary or something close
Mhm.
by. And then that was it for 2025. So I feel like in 2022 and then 2023, there were these, like, little sections where there were just too many all at once,
Mhm.
that and that too many no foul play suspected situations
Mhm.
where it kind of was more than the law of averages. I get why people are like, "You guys, like, there's something going on here."
Okay, so also in Illinois, and I bring these up not because they are connected, but to give you an example, Joshua Ellis, 48, in October of 2025, a Princeton man was recovered by a dive team near Putnam County. Witnesses reported he went under while attempting. So now we've got a who, a what, a where across the river and did not resurface. And we know that rivers have currents. So you have this. Okay, tragic, very sad, but we've explained it. Sierra DeLasso, 37, was pulled from the Illinois River near Peoria. Um, an autopsy confirmed that her cause of death was drowning, but no signs of trauma or struggle. Okay. Again, we know now in May 2024, May is not swimming weather in Chicago. The
Mm-mm.
water is still below freezing.
It's cold, yeah.
So for me, I'm going to need more than that.
What was she doing down there? Like,
What?
the Illinois River, like,
What?
who's yeah,
What?
I don't get it.
Robert Long, 37, in April of 2024. So again, still cold, still
There's
freezing
still ice
water.
in the
There's
water.
still fucking ice.
Yeah.
After being missing for nearly a week in Joliet, his remains were found in the Des Plaines River, which feeds into the Illinois River, and police said there was no evidence of foul play. Isn't the foul play the body in the water? Isn't that foul play? No, like,
I
isn't that
agree.
your foul play? When I hear these things when we talk about murder cases and they're like, "Well, we just didn't have any evidence." You had a whole body. The whole thing. What more do you need?
They don't just end up there, guys. Like,
That's your
at least
evidence.
explain the circumstance.
Start there with your who, what, where, when, why, how. Okay, and
I
then we had
mean,
an unnamed teenager in July 4th, 2024, that reportedly drowned in the Illinois River while fleeing from a police chase involving a stolen vehicle. So,
okay.
okay, so we know why, who, what, where, when. July
Yeah,
4th, I mean, people get motherfucking crazy up in here on 4th of
they
July.
do. Just a little.
So it's just, it's just one of those things where I brought these up because the Illinois River is not the Chicago River, but they're still in Illinois,
Mhm.
and we
I
need
would
to
say the
remember.
Illinois River is more
Yes,
recreational in terms
absolutely.
of, like, people taking out their boats and fishing and things like that than
When
the
I
Chicago
lived in
River, not so
Morris, yeah,
much.
when I lived in Morris, our house was right on the Illinois
Right?
River,
It was, like,
and
right
we
behind your
swam in that
house.
dirty fucking water all the time. I don't even wanna know what was floating up my coochie. I can just tell you we swam in that fucking river, and we
Oh,
we boated
man.
in it, and we fucking jet skied in it, and I wasn't the only one. So all of you out there judging, I wasn't the only one. That's where I lost those first diamond earrings you gave me.
Oh,
Do you remember the ones
no.
with the husband whatever number, and you gave me those beautiful diamond earrings? And
You're
I
welcome.
I never took them out, and
Someone will find them one day, they'll be a
no, they
fossil.
won't. No, they won't. So, one of the things that we need to remember is that water is notorious for
Yeah,
bad things, right? It's a dumping
yeah,
ground for people who murder people. It's a dumping ground for what's the big baddie that we're starting to realize? Car thefts.
yeah,
Accidental drownings still occur when you take recreational sports and put them into the mix. Alcohol makes that number even higher. So
yeah.
we mention these as it's not lost on us. For those of you who are like, "Oh my god, don't you know anything about water?" Yeah, I do. Um, but also
Now who's
we
being sassy to the listeners? Y'all.
not my listeners. So I'm gonna bring up one little story. Just recently, I said Thursday, February 12th, 2026, so just a few
Yeah.
days ago, a woman was pulled from the Chicago River around 1:19 PM, so in the daytime. Her identity has not been released, so we don't know anything. We don't know age, race, how she got there, what she was doing. There is an autopsy pending, and this was right at around 27th and Ashland, so not that far from where others had been pulled from and or found.
Mm,
There were some articles that I found, ABC and NBC had them,
mhm.
um, that there were theories that the Chicago River killer could also be something that they're calling a smiley face killer.
Yeah.
And this was due to the fact that there had been smiley faces graffitied or drawn near where the bodies were found or supposedly dumped. And
Mhm.
I only say no to this because of distance traveled. You don't know when you pull someone out of the water at 27th and Ashland, you don't always know where they went in. So if you're leaving a calling card, putting somebody in a water where you don't know where they're gonna be found isn't like I don't know that we're gonna see that card. And there were no, and I mean no indications that they found a smiley face on the person. It was always the
Mhm.
surrounding areas. Another theory was that, and this is what got me really upset, that it was like a gang theory, that gangs were doing this as like part of their initiation or to dump, like, if they murdered another gang member and dumped them there, and then I was like, I don't love that either because
Here's the thing.
gangs, they're not assassins, guys.
They're not
They're not.
smart.
No.
They're very lazy.
Yeah.
They tend, at least in my
They like the
neighborhood, my
drive-by, the
experience, they
pew-pews.
do. They
They love a
drive
good
by, they
pew-pew.
shoot,
They shoot.
and then they run away.
They
Or
kill
they
innocent
come up
bystanders.
on
They kill
you
children.
and they shoot. Yeah.
They're not
And
taking
then they
anybody
run
and
away.
dumping. Yeah, they don't take
But
people and dump them places.
they don't clean up after themselves
No, no.
at all.
Their
And,
bathrooms are
like,
probably
putting
a
someone in
fucking
the water?
mess. Yeah.
No, no,
So I say nay to that again. I say nay. I
nay.
don't think this is the gangs of Chicago. It was like when they had the talk of the Lane Bryant murders being like a gang initiation, and I didn't love that because again, somebody would have
Mm,
talked by now. And
I
that's
feel
the
like
thing,
again, yeah.
when you're talking about gangs, I feel it's really important to remember these are kids who are looking for something that might be missing at home
Mhm.
and getting it from their peers.
Yeah,
And a lot of times, not all, but a really, really lot of times, at some point they grow out of it. And at that point, we would have heard more. Somebody would have been like, I know this from this. Because we
yeah,
hear all the time, they write books and they're like,
yeah,
they do youth outreach later in life.
yep,
So I don't
I
love
know.
that for a whole gang thing.
So, the
Yeah.
smiley face thing,
Tell me.
because we can cover this too.
Oh.
So, there's 2 things, and this is the one that I remember a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Jesperson was the happy face killer.
Mm-hmm.
He was a serial killer who murdered at least 8 women in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
He signed confession letters with a smiley face.
Did you hear the podcast
Okay?
from his daughter?
Yes. His daughter
Okay.
has a podcast.
Yes.
There's books. There's all kinds
Yes.
of stuff.
Yes.
Then there's another theory. It's called the smiley face killers. And it's a hypothesis by retired investigators that a group of serial killers is responsible for the deaths of over 40 college aged men across the U.S. Midwest. So that's when people are talking about like the Chicago River Killer, I think, who they're wondering about. And that the bodies are often found in water near smiley face graffiti. I feel like the graffiti is a bit of a stretch because I feel like you could
Yeah.
find that anywhere. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know
So
about that
also
part.
with graffiti, the one of the things that we know from like remember when we dated guys in high school and
Mhm.
there was a phrase they called them taggers. Okay, so
Taggers,
they
yeah.
weren't in a gang, but the graffiti was their art.
Yeah.
and they found areas all around Chicago to graffiti, and they
Yeah.
often had calling cards or names. So,
Yeah.
like, I dated a couple of people that had the same, like, they would use this name, and that would always be how they graffitied. So, somebody could easily have been a smiley face. Oh,
Are Texas and Chicago connected?
are they?
The short answer is only time will tell.
Mm.
And the longer answer is,
Ooh,
unfortunately,
unfortunately,
there could be
more than
fucking 3
one.
of them. There
What?
could be one that was in
Girl,
Texas in
girl,
2022, there could be one that was in Chicago, then there was another one in Texas in
sis.
2023, because they're fucking everywhere.
Do we
Everywhere.
know serial killers that have worked together in the past?
Yes.
What were they called?
I don't know. Leopold
Bianchi
and
and
Loeb?
Bono?
Oh, sure. Leopold
Bueno?
and Loeb.
I'm just saying, it's not uncommon. I was just gonna say, what if they're fucking brothers?
What if they're working
What
together?
if
What if
they're
one is here,
brothers?
one is
And
there? What
they're
if
killing people, and, like, me and you
Oh
shared the
my
same womb, and
god.
they shared a same womb.
Oh my god. What if they're, like, trying to one up each other? "Oh, look what I did. Oh, look what I did."
Ugh.
Dude,
Oh, they
dude.
need to send better artwork home to their mom. That's not what mom wants on her fridge.
Nope, nope.
But I say this then, let us stay informed,
Yeah.
and to use a phrase other people use at work, let's circle back to this.
Let's circle back.
Let's circle back to this at another
Alright
time.
then.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, can I tell him to send up those kiddos?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
All
Alright,
right.
people. Roll up your fucking windows.
Come
Don't
on,
park next to
George.
vans.
Let's go.
Bye.
Also, thank you for listening, everyone. We do love you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
Executive produced by me, Marie Abenante, and my sister, Lisa Linsner.
Music by John Bartman, track Shooter on the Roof. Cover art by the talented and beautiful Alexis Guerrero.
And all of this is possible editing and recording using Riverside.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye.